Life after death. How it was. My history. Death and the first days after. I think everyone has heard the stories of people who have gone through clinical death. Many of them described the light at the end of the tunnel and meeting with deceased loved ones. But it usually didn't last long, because soon they were returned to our world. And what happened to those who have already died completely? Would you like hear the story of such a man? Let me tell it to you. Now I am a woman, but in a past life I was a man. Therefore I will write about myself in the masculine form in order to better convey my current state and outlook. So, I lived in America, in a small provincial town in the South. My life passed relatively calmly and was quite ordinary. I died at the age of 60 from a heart attack. I can't say that I was afraid of death. But the fact that after her me waiting for existence at least in some form, also doubted. The time of my death was in the early 80s of the last century. Shortly before that, in the 60s and 70s, it became popular in America Eastern philosophy. Therefore, even to me, a simple village man, had heard about the theory of reincarnation. True. It was distributed by citizens who did not inspire me trust. Namely, hippies, rockers and other, doubtful youth. Therefore, I considered rebirth more fiction than truth. After death, I expected either to permanently disappear from the world, which, by the way, I was not very scared, or get into some kind of analog that light, described in religion. But it was all my expectations, but in reality it was waiting for me at all another plot. My death happened quite quickly. I have had for a long time heart problems. And then I had a heart attack, and I almost died instantly. I remember my feeling of departure from the body. It happened in a matter of seconds. At first, I felt my heart stop. Then the noise and that I can't breathe. And then almost immediately I saw myself with hand fallen on the bed. Oddly enough, it didn't scare me. My first thought was, well, and that's it. Finally, a little later, my relatives found me. They even tried reanimate, but it was useless. All this time I was near them and his house, and saw all the events from the side. A little background. Everyone knows that at the time of death a person leaves his physical body forever. However, apart from that, there is also a whole set of subtle bodies. And in one of these bodies, the closest to the earthly world, consciousness and moves immediately after death. This body is called the astral body. And that's where I ended up, just died. The astral body of the dead is located in the subtle world, which called astral. Our world is visible from the astral, so you can observe earthly life, your home and loved ones. In addition, a person even has some superpowers. About them will be discussed further. So, the new state made me happy. I felt some freedom and ease. Already in the first hours I cleared what I can move to any place you want. That is, as soon as I think about someone or something, and I'm already close to this person or place. It occupied me so much that at first I wandered back and forth and visited everyone he could remember. My condition was also greatly relieved by the certainty that for me, no one mourns and no one is killed. The parents were not alive. The son was already adults, and we rarely talked. And I broke up with my wife many years ago. In addition, all acquaintances and friends knew about my heart problems, so no one was surprised by this option. In my new form, I began to accurately understand the feelings of all the people you were watching. It looked like this. I kind of connected to them and saw their feelings from the outside. It was interesting for me to find out who and how reacts to the news of my death. Someone was really sorry, and some understood that they should feel sad, but it was difficult for them. Squeeze her out. I laughed and thought, I wonder what if they knew I'm actually there and watching them. It was also amusing to see animals and birds in their new state. To look at their feelings and sensations. I had never thought about how, for example, cows or horses feel. And now I understood that they also have emotions. Although they are simpler and pure compared to a person. By the way, many animals on my farm even recognized me. Unlike humans, their vision of more subtle energies was not closed. And they reacted to my appearance in almost the same way as in life. They revived and followed my gaze. In addition to the fact that I now saw other people's feelings and emotions. My perception of the world has also changed. In particular, the vision seems to have expanded compared to the past. If earlier I saw the world with my eyes, now it is as if with my whole body. Due to this, the review also increased. Now it was full 360 degrees. I also felt the sound in a peculiar way, like waves that passed through me. Some of them were pleasant and others not so much. And in these waves, there were many shades and nuances, much more than was heard in life. In a word, I began to perceive the world more deeply. As if before I saw him drawn in the picture. But now he has become voluminous. I observed not only people and things, but also the energy that stands behind them, and it was very exciting. But my own emotions and thoughts have not changed much. It just made me feel a little happier than before. First, it was possible not to think or worry about death, because I had already died. Secondly, I was pleased with freedom and new sensations. And I didn't even really care about what was waiting for me next. I was so captured by this new state. This is how the first days after my death passed, when, in anticipation of my funeral, I wandered around the neighborhood and watched my acquaintances. To be continued. Subscribe to the channel.